to sympathetic magic in folklore. A miniature version of something is used to control the real thing, like voodoo dolls, puppets, effigies, and ritual models. The dollhouse kind of becomes a weapon. Maggie targets adults connected to the inn being dismantled and sold off. The victims aren't random. They're people who represent the inn being sold, emptied, and destroyed. Maggie kills the delivery man who's removing things from the inn, a realtor representing the company that is planning the demolition, the man hanging, and anybody else who threatens the inn's future. Because in Maggie's mind, if the inn goes away, she loses her home and she loses Tyler, and she can't have that. So Maggie escalates to attempted drowning. Eventually, Maggie stops killing outsiders and moves to her real goal: keeping Tyler forever. Maggie lures Tyler to the old pool and tries to drown her. She locks the doors, seals the windows, nobody can get in or out. This is the most horrifying supernatural truth of the episode. Maggie doesn't want Tyler dead because she hates her. She wants her dead because she wants her with her. So why does Maggie's ghost appear wet, lore-wise? Well, Maggie's death was a drowning in that exact pool she takes Tyler to. And in supernatural, as well as real world ghost lore, spirits often manifest in the ways that reflect their death. A drowning spirit might appear dripping wet, pale, cold, smelling of stagnant water, and surrounded by water imagery. And even when Maggie isn't fully seen as a dripping figure, her haunting behavior and the pool climax are directly tied to her drowning death. One of the most fascinating supernatural details in this episode is the repeated symbol found throughout the inn, the quincunx. I hope that I pronounced that right. I have tried for hours now to pronounce it correctly. Basically what this is a 5-dot pattern, like the 5 on a dice. Sam recognizes that a symbol used in hoodoo practices. In real life lore, hoodoo is a system of folk magic rooted in African American tradition and usually involves protective symbols, spiritual cleansing, warding against spirits, and binding rituals. In this episode, the quincunx appears on furniture, decor, and objects around the inn. And its function is a kind of a ward, something meant to suppress, repel, and control the spirit. This suggests something major. Someone knew Maggie was there, and somebody tried to contain her. That somebody. The episode reveals that the inn's previous owner, Rose Thompson, and Tyler's grandmother, has been living there her entire life. Her family owned the inn way back, and Rose has been quietly managing Maggie's spirit for decades since she passed away. She's not exercising her, she's not burning her bones, but she's doing something much more personal. She's making her stay. Rose was Maggie's sister in real life, and she remained Maggie's anchor in death. That's why Maggie didn't lash out for years. Rose was her companion, her familiar, her connection. But then Rose had a stroke, and suddenly Maggie is alone again, and the hauntings begin. This is what makes Playthings stand out. Sam and Dean don't destroy Maggie. They don't salt and burn her. They don't exorcise her. Instead, Maggie is stopped through an emotional resolution. For Rose, she realizes Maggie is trying to kill Tyler, and she makes a choice telepathically. She offers herself to Maggie. She dies so that Maggie won't be alone, and Maggie accepts that. After Rose's death, the hauntings end, and the Pier Point Inn remains haunted, but now it's haunted peacefully by two spirits, sisters, together again. This haunting matches several classic ghost patterns found in folklore. The child spirit attachment. Child ghosts often attach themselves to living children because they want companionship, and they want to play, and they want a replacement family. They're place-bound spirits, and Maggie is bound to the inn and the pool area. In folklore, many ghosts remain trapped because they died suddenly, they died young, they don't understand death at all, and they have unfinished emotional needs. That's a child thing. In supernatural tradition, toys can become vessels because they are emotionally charged. They're treated like alive objects. Children project identity into them, and spirits can use that projection to manifest. Now, for fun facts. The dollhouse concept is one of the creepiest original haunt mechanics in early Supernatural. It's not a standard ghost trope, and that's why it hits so hard. The quincunx symbol is based on real folk magic tradition. Supernatural could have made up a magic sigil, but instead used something grounded in real world spiritual practices. And the Pierpoint Inn is a classic Gothic horror setting, even though the place is beautiful. I don't really have any information if it actually exists in Vancouver, but I'd like to look into that. The production design intentionally leans into ornate, antique, old money visuals to make the haunting feel timeless. And the pool climax is shot like a trap. Glass doors, locked exits, water, claustrophobia. It's one of the most effective non-escape scenes of season 2. And now for my final thoughts. Playthings is one of the creepiest episodes of early Supernatural. Not because Maggie is the powerful ghost, and it's not because she's the most human. She doesn't really want revenge. She wants love. She wants to be seen. She's lonely. And that's kind of what makes her terrifying, because love without boundaries kind of becomes possession, and loneliness can turn a child spirit into something deadly. And this episode reminds us of one of Supernatural's darkest truths. Sometimes the monsters aren't really evil. Sometimes it's just pain that never got comforted. And that's it for today's episode of Supernaturalist. Until next time, hunters, if you hear tiny footsteps in the hallway and the sound of dolls shifting in the dark, don't look under your bed. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you know someone who would enjoy this podcast, please share it with them. Thank you and have a great weekend.